Imagine a football club fighting to stay in the top league. The manager is begging to spend millions on new players, and the fans in the stands are demanding championship titles. But behind the scenes, the club owners are trying to keep the wage bill down to save money. And the bank that issued the club's loans, they just want to ensure they get paid back on time. Every one of those groups is a stakeholder. As you can see here on screen, a stakeholder is any individual or group who has an interest in and stands to be affected by the success or failure of an organization. Running a business requires navigating a complex web of these groups. They all want the organization to succeed, but their individual definitions of success actively contradict each other. Take a look at this map. To understand how these groups interact, we first divide them into two distinct camps, internal and external. Internal stakeholders are the people actively working inside the day-to-day operations. This includes the owners or shareholders who provide the capital, the managers who make the daily decisions, and the employees carrying out the work. External stakeholders sit outside the organization, but they are still impacted by what it does. This group includes the customers, the suppliers, the banks financing the operation, the government collecting taxes, and the local community living next door. Managing a business means balancing the demands of those inside the company against the pressures coming from the outside. That friction all comes down to interests. An interest is simply the specific benefit a stakeholder wants to gain from the business succeeding. Look at the board of directors sitting in this meeting. Owners and shareholders have a very clear interest. They want high profits. That profit translates directly into healthy dividends and a return on their investment. But look at these window ads. Customers have a completely different interest. They want the lowest possible prices, high quality, and maximum value for their money. Meanwhile, employees want higher wages and job security. The local community wants the business to provide jobs without generating extra noise, traffic, or pollution. Fulfilling one group's interest often comes at the expense of another. If a business pays its employees higher wages, it increases operating costs, which leaves less room for owner profits. If they drop prices for the customer, profit margins tighten further. This is a stakeholder conflict. When these conflicts heat up, stakeholders rely on influence, the specific actions or weapons they use to impact the organization and force it to listen to them. You can see an internal weapon right here in this photo. Owners use their voting rights at the annual general meeting to change company policy. Employees have their own internal weapons. They can slow down production or even withdraw their labor entirely by going on strike. External stakeholders have powerful levers too. Banks can refuse to issue you loans. Governments can pass strict new laws or raise taxes. Customers can simply stop buying the product. We see this clash play out constantly. Take a look at this assembly line. A major clothing brand might decide to maximize profits by moving production overseas to facilities with cheaper labor. That satisfies the owner's clear interest in higher profit margins. And here is the response. The local community and activist customers strike back using their external influence, organizing protests, generating negative publicity, and boycotting the brand to force a change in policy. When stakeholders use these weapons of influence, it creates a constant tug-of-war. If these groups can't find common ground, the organization risks becoming stuck in a cycle of disruption. So, if everyone is constantly fighting for opposing goals, why doesn't the system just collapse? The answer is interdependence. These groups rely on each other. Owners rely on managers to run the business, and managers need owners for capital. Employees need customers to buy goods to fund wages, and customers need employees for quality products. Running a successful business is never about making everyone perfectly happy. It is a delicate, ongoing negotiation of these interdependent relationships. Master the balance, and the organization thrives. But if you fail, everyone loses out.